Malawi will face up to 19 hours of power blackouts every Sunday until the end of next month. This as the country struggles to keep the lights on. The country has been experiencing massive blackouts for several months now. The country's power producers, electricity generation company Enginco and Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM, says the outages are a result of emergency maintenance works at power plants, but the country's energy minister has blamed corruption by politicians for the ongoing punishing power outages. The minister says he suspected possible sabotage, political influence or negligence at the companies. We continue now speaking about Malawi's energy crisis. We speak to energy expert Grain Malunga, who is a former Minister of Mines and Energy in Malawi. He speaks to us from Lilongwe. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Malunga. Now, earlier on this year, we mentioned that the situation is so bad that your energy minister literally broke down in tears at a press conference talking about high-level corruption. Just when we talk about 19 hours of blackouts, paint a picture for us what Malawians are facing as we speak, because South Africans certainly can relate in terms of the power cuts and how they're affecting our daily lives.
Yes, there was an announcement from the electricity transmitter that tomorrow, Sunday, we'll be having 19 hours of blackout. This has come in as a result of the agency to do some maintenance work in one of our hydropower stations. As you will recall, that the other main station, which was Kapitira hydroelectric power station, was destroyed by Hurricane Anna in February. So I think we are having about 355 megawatts of power. Now, this is going to drop because of tomorrow's maintenance work. And this is going to be every Sunday. I think for the next 4 Sundays, we'll be having 19 hours of blackout.
But not so long ago, President Chakera was celebrating a $1 billion deal, which I believe is going to bring 350 megawatts onto the grid, with an ultimate goal of 1,000 megawatts in the next 3 years. But just give us a sense of how much the country is working with at the moment.
Well, as I said, currently we are working with about 200 megawatts, and the suppressed demand is about 400 megawatts. So this has necessitated the need to do load shedding, and then there are efforts being done to try and mitigate against this problem through increase the feeding in of solar power. We have about 50 megawatts, 40 in Cheru, 20 in Cheru and 40 in Salima, which has to be fed into the national grid. But then the problem is now the stability of the national grid. If there is less hydropower generation into the national grid, that also reduces the capacity of tapping into solar energy. So we are in a bit of a temporary mess here until the Kapitira power station is restored to its 132 megawatts. Which is estimated to be effective in December this year. So we will continue to have these blackouts.
For how long, if the president is saying there's some Panga hydro project is going to double the hydro energy and will also help improve energy security. I mean, as I say, South Africans may not be on the same level, but we can relate because we keep being told that there are projects in the works that are going to help alleviate the situation. But if you talk about the now, we're certainly feeling the pinch, not only in terms of lack of production, but just the disruption to everyday quality of life and safety.
Well, that's true. The Patamanga project, it's in the preparatory stage, and there's been disapproval. The signing of agreement between the investors and the Malawi government to construct a hydropower station that will have a capacity of about 350 megawatts. But you know, when you are constructing a hydropower station, it takes 5 to 7 years to have the project, go into effect. So we have a long way in terms of relying on the Patamanga hydropower station, which should take 5 to 7 years from now.
As a former Minister of Energy, do you agree with Minister Matola's diagnosis that the energy crisis is as a result of previous administrations' corruption and various malpractices, and that there's actually a concerted effort to sabotage the administration now in providing energy?
I would say that it's a mixed bag. Our hydropower stations have gone into age. Most of them are over 40 years, and we tried to rehabilitate one of them, the Nkura A and B, where we managed to get 30 megawatts. The lack of care and the lack of maintenance of the hydropower stations has given us a lot of problems. And indeed, as you said, issues to do with the procurement have also affected the provision of quality power to the country. There was a lot of misprocurement by the previous governments. You know, it's as good as what you have there, the problems of state parastatals. You know, these companies, usually you get people appointed into management, and the management does not work meritoriously. They have to please the person that appointed them. As a result, you have a lot of misprocurement which affected us. So we bought a lot of equipment that could not be used for the maintenance of the power stations, and that affected the quality of generation and distribution of our energy that we were generating. So yes, corruption on one side, misprocurement on the other side, and indeed lack of preventive maintenance on the other side. These have affected our power generation.